In washing machines, depending specifically on the particular model you have, we may find a solenoid valve with a single water inlet, or a double inlet solenoid valve. That is, one with two electromagnetic coils. The first type is usually found in considerably older and more traditional washing machines, while this specific system is found in more contemporary and technologically advanced washing machines, since they need to carefully regulate and oversee the complex operation of the cross-flow of water, to allow both the detergent and the fabric softener to be effectively and efficiently dispensed into the wash. If the washing machine does not fill with water, it is necessary to test the solenoid valve, and in this video we will see how to do this on models that have a double solenoid valve. Specifically, when we find a single solenoid valve, we have this situation here, that is one power supply input and output, and here the inlet connection for the fill hose and the water outlet. When we are looking at a system that features a double solenoid valve, you are going to notice a water inlet. And you will also find the two coils, positioned exactly like this. And these two coils have only one fitting, which is one single unified electrical power connector. So in the first case, I refer you to the video to see how to test that type of solenoid valve, but now we will focus specifically on how to perform the test on this model. In order to properly check the functional operation of the internal coils, it is necessary for us to carefully remove the main power connector first. As we can see, this power connector has 3 wires, and on the connector itself, of course, we find, I'll show you on this other one. Taking a much closer look at the configuration, we can see that there are 3 specific inputs that serve to connect the 2 internal coils in a parallel circuit with the neutral wire. This specific arrangement is designed to provide each of these 2 coils with a direct and consistent source of power. Now that we understand the wiring, we need to move on to check for electrical continuity from a strictly ohmic point of view to ensure everything is functioning correctly. For both of these specific components, we first configure your digital multimeter to the 20K OHM scale, and then carefully perform a resistance measurement between the first and second pin. And we get a value of 4.02. We move the probe to the third pin and get a value of 4.04. This tells us that the first pin is the common pin, so the 2 input connections for the first solenoid valve are the first pin and the second pin, or rather, for one of the 2 solenoid valves, while the other 2 connections are the first and the third pin. The values are consistent with what they should be for the coil of the solenoid valve. And if we move the first probe to the center and the outer pin, we notice that the value increases to 8.07. That is, it is the sum of the values of the 2 solenoid valves. From an ohmic point of view, this check tells us that both solenoid valves are working. Now, if we wanted to do a further test by providing direct power, we would need to, and we will do it now, but be careful, this is an operation, a task that should be avoided at home, or in any case, should be done with the utmost caution. We need to supply power to 1 and 2, and then to 1 and 2 again, so first and second, first and third. To do this, we will use a direct power cable connected with terminal probes. We open the water, put on gloves in this case, and supply the power. We have supplied power to the 2 probes, so we need to be careful not to let them touch, and we will proceed to place them as I mentioned, the first on the first pin and the second Okay, so we have successfully tested the first solenoid valve. Now, carefully keeping the probe on pin number 1, we will move the second probe over to the third pin, which is located at the other end, in order to properly activate the other coil. This ensures the circuit is complete. Okay, let's disconnect the power supply. And in this way, we have managed to determine that the solenoid valves are absolutely working. Another way to do this would be to have a cable, so a connector identical to this one, leave it connected here, and then use the connector. Then cut it at the appropriate positions. Apply voltage to one and then the other of the two wires, first to two wires and then to the other two. Obviously, we can also do this kind of work by completely removing this plate. We can observe in this case how the two solenoid valves are actually two individual solenoid valves. Going back to the connection system we saw earlier, which I will now show you, we obviously did it with the usual power cable, which ends with the two terminals connected to alligator clips, and the two alligator clips are then connected to the connectors of the two test leads. Now let's disconnect the two fasten connectors from the power cable, and at this point, if we wanted to test these two coils once again, we could simply do so by connecting the power supply to the two terminals and turning on the power. So the first one and the second one.